Alright, the June Mountain Dew car pack is here, and I've been waiting a while for this. No, not the F50 GT, the Chevy Vega, man! Skywarp 72, Cruizers Motorsports Gaming here for the June car pack, and for the first time in a while, I am 100% down with the content of this pack. What a perfect balance of exotics and normal cars. Not to mention, if you've seen previous videos, you know I've been waiting a while for that Chevy Vega. Oh man, let's get into this. The Ferrari F50 GT, or the F60 GT, according to one of the poorest written articles I have ever seen on a car pack, or Forza, or period, for that matters, at Zen of Cars. F60 GT, oh man, more on that later. Well, the F50 GT is a rare bird, as there was only 3 produced in 1996, or ever. While its styling was questionable in the 90s, and still is today, there is no denying the ridiculous performance stats that came with this machine. In-game handling is unreal, but I mean that in the best way. The Lotus 311, aptly limited to 311 production units, is a very cool car to have in Horizon. Though as track-oriented as it is, it would have been much more suited for the Motorsports series. While fun to drive, it starts as a very low-powered S1 car, and would be pretty difficult to make competitive in an S1 class. The supercharged 410 horsepower Toyota V6 is wheezing in a class filled with double the horsepower fire breathers. But it's nice to have something that might be able to sneak by those fire breathers in the twisties. Next is the 1951 Holden FX sedan, as we continue our Horizon 3 long lesson about Australian-made automobiles. The 48-215 sports a 132 cubic inch inline V6 and produced a whopping 60 horsepower. Tightly related to the existing Holden Ute we already have in the game as a barn find, it's prime real estate for an LS swap. Though, I don't know, I kinda like it just the way it is for a cruiser. Oh, and for all those posts I've been seeing on the forums lately about being too many Aussie cars in the game, you do know this game is based in Australia, right? I, for one, have enjoyed learning about some Aussie cars, and I hope to see a lot of these back in FM7. And speaking of learning, you learn something new every day. I'll admit I don't pay much attention anymore to new cars, but I assume that the new Dart was a redesign of the Dodge Neon, considering the Dart took the Neon's place in the Dodge lineup. As most people already know, though, it's mostly based off the Alfa Romeo Giulietta. I guess the Italians take their Shakespeare quite seriously. 185 horsepower pushed this front driver through the twisties okay. Is it just me, or are these road cars just kind of boring? Whether I like it or not, that is the direction automakers have gone, so good job for Turn 10 for including it. Joining the lineup as well is the much anticipated return of the 73 AMC Gremlin X from FM4. With the right tune, its power to weight ratio made it formidable on any track on any class back then. While here in Horizon 3, I don't expect it to do anything much more than drag race duty, here's hoping that this poorly named car with the huge V8 makes its way back into the Motorsports series in FM7. DSM fans are some of the most loyal and versatile car fanatics I have ever met. The 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX came out of the box with 210 horsepower, and it was driving all 4 wheels. It was outlawed in most circle tracks in the early 2000s after winning everything in sight. Similar to this model, it found its fame in the original Fast and Furious movie as Brian O'Connor's first on-screen car. Finding one nowadays that's unmolested can be a chore, unless you go to the Horizon show and pick yours up today. Last but certainly not least is the 1971 Chevrolet Vega. Now, while I'm a die-hard Chevy guy, I have to admit I'm a little disappointed. It's no one's fault but my own, as I seem to skim over the leaked DLC car list for FH3. I thought it said the Cosworth Vega. Nonetheless, I think it's the only Chevy DLC car we have gotten. It was the only Chevy on the list at the time. Another Malaise-era small car with V8 power, these are a little difficult to find unmolested as well, as a good number of them have been tubbed and turned into quarter-mile cars. But it's nice to have something older from Chevrolet that's not a muscle car, as muscle cars were not the only thing from Chevy that was performance-oriented, like the Vega. Or say, I don't know, as I shamelessly plug the car I want the most in the Motorsports series, please, please, please turn 10, the Chevrolet Beretta GTU. I've got a few of them if you need some 3D modeling, guys. You see, I'm even willing to help out with this Turn 10. And there is the Mountain Dew June Car Pack review. Stay tuned to the channel for coverage of the Cruizers Vintage Iron series in the Hot Wheels expansion that is now underway. Like what you see today? Make sure to like, share, and most off subscribe to the channel for my real-life racing videos and all that is Forza, as E3 is just around the corner and news will be forthcoming for FM7. Make sure too to check out the Cruizers Motorsports Facebook page if you enjoy grassroots-style racing. This is Skywarp72, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna go drive my Vega.